Okay. It's a special challenge when I have to run the Zoom and talk at the same time. So hang on. Just want to make sure I've got talking points here. Okay. Hi, everybody. As you can see or hear, my voice is not much better than it was yesterday, but we're trying. There we go. Okay. So I just wanted to give you all, I'm going to hang on. There we go. Okay, for the folks in the room so they can see what I'm talking about. All right, so I wanted to give you all sort of a state of the association report. You've heard a lot already from Brian and Ina, but things are great. Things are really great. This is things were great last year too, and it's really nice to now be here a second year in a row and talk about things going up and improving. Because it took a while to turn. I felt like I was trying to turn the Titanic around because we were in some tough straits in 2017, 2018. And so we're finally, I think, on an upswing. Brian and Ina have done a great job explaining the way that association reserves work and the intentionality of making an investment in the association. What that's going to look like when our audit comes back next year is it's going to look like we've lost money, but we won't have lost money. We will have invested money intentionally. So I'm excited about that. So anyway, as you can see, we're way up on membership. I'd like to say that has greatly increased our financial coffers, but the reality is that much of that is an increase in what we're calling tier 2 membership, which are members from countries that are identified by the World Bank as being in the lower tier of economic status. And so the board decided last year to extend complimentary membership to anybody in those countries that wants to be a member. We opened that up in just after the annual meeting last year, and we've seen about 600 plus new memberships as a result, which I'll show you a slide in a minute that shows the breakdown of our membership now, but we're certainly now at least 50%, if not more, an international non-North American, non-US association. And it's really done wonderful things in terms of increasing engagement and representation from parts of the world that we weren't really active in before. So that's super news. We've talked enough about reserves. We had a great year last year. No thanks to me. I wish I could take credit for it, but the IRS helped, the federal government helped, and the stock market helped. So all of those things resulted in a great year. Annual meeting attendance down a little bit this year. Of course, we were way up last year because we were entirely virtual. So we're down a bit, 7%. But in this weird hybrid space, nobody quite knows what to expect. So we'll have more guidance on what 2022 is looking like after the board meets next Wednesday or this coming Wednesday. But nothing to worry about, I think, on annual meeting. And then our engagement is phenomenal. About 15% of our members are engaged in some capacity, and that doesn't even count all the people that are like JSIST reviewers and paper reviewers for the annual meeting and that sort of thing. We offered an amazing 37 webinars this year. So props almost entirely to Kathy Nash and largely to Steve Harden, who hosted a lot of those webinars. But I mean, that's 3 a month. That's really incredible. And that's because you all have stuff you want to talk about to the members. And Kathy's done a great job of recruiting authors to do the Meet the Authors series. And so expect more great webinars in the future. If you're a member of ASIS, and I'm pretty sure everybody in this room is, those webinars are free to you. If you're not a member, they cost $25 a piece. So all you need to do is attend. If you're a student, 3, and if you're a professional member, 6 webinars in a year, and you've already paid for your ASIS membership. So what a deal. We did 2 regional meetings this year. Asia Pacific had a phenomenal 2-day conference that they hosted in Wuhan that was available both in Wuhan and online. And that was very well attended. And then the European chapter did a 2-day conference in June, I believe, also incredibly well attended, fully virtual, that one. So great regional things happening. Some exciting stuff with awards this year. We introduced a new award this year, the Lois Lunan Award, and that was made possible by a very generous bequest from Lois herself in her estate. She left ASIS $150,000 to fund that award. And it took us a couple of years to get the criteria and everything together. But we offered that award for the first time this year, and we will be recognizing the winner of that tomorrow night. We asked the Awards and Honors Committee to take a look at the New Leaders Program because it was starting to dwindle in applications, and it was losing its rudder a little bit. And so the Awards and Honors Committee rejiggered that award, revised the criteria a bit, revised the experience for new leaders and mentors. And we relaunched that this year and have 5 new leaders that are starting out at this annual meeting. And we're really excited about the work they're going to be doing. They're going to be working directly with committees or board members specifically on tactics within the strategic plan to help advance that. So really glad to have that program back. It's such a valuable program for ASIST. You may remember a year or two ago, we were talking about a chapter restructuring plan, which was approved. And the notion of that was really to move away from sort of unevenly distributed local chapters around particularly the United States and North America, towards a regional chapter structure whereby every member of ASIS has a regional chapter that they are a member of. It's taking us some time to build the infrastructure in those new regions to offer substance to those chapters, but we're getting there. We launched a new chapter this year, the Middle Eastern chapter, thanks in large part to Dania Bilal, who I think is out there. I don't have my glasses on at the moment. There she is, I see her. So thank you, Dania, for making that possible. And Tim Dickey, who's also out there somewhere, has been very helpful in growing the U.S. Midwest chapter. And then she's not here, but Deborah Swain is working hard on the U.S. South chapter. So these are the ones that we've been focusing on this year. We really need some help getting the U.S. West chapter going. So anyone that wants to work on that, let me know. And then a Canadian chapter is on the drawing board also for this year. So anyone interested in helping with those initiatives, please see me. We're happy to talk about it. We launched a new SIG this year, SIG AI. Dania, again, was instrumental in that, along with a handful of other people, Shirag and a few other people. So thanks to all of you. Anyone that feels as if there should be a SIG and there isn't one, talk to us. We can help you figure out how to get one started. There is no limit on how many SIGs we could have. There might be a limit on how much money we can give to SIGs, but there's no limit on how many there can be. Brian mentioned the Distinguished Member Program. We are welcoming 28 distinguished members at the Awards and Honors event tomorrow night. If you're interested in finding out whether or not you're eligible to be a distinguished member, come see me and we'll check your membership history and figure that out. I apologize to those of you in the audience who are distinguished members and you were looking for pins when you got here. A little bit of a snafu. We didn't get the pins ordered in time to get them here, but we will mail those to you. In terms of ASIS staff, some new faces at this year's annual meeting, as you've seen. As Brian said, we've gained 2 new staff, which has been a tremendous gain for the association. Terrence Curtis unfortunately left us last week, right before annual meeting, but he got a fabulous new opportunity and we couldn't begrudge him the opportunity to go do something at a bigger association. That's what we small associations are in the business of finding amazing talent and nurturing it until it's grown beyond our borders and we then send the talent off to new places. So we wish Terrence the best. And we decided to eliminate our accounting and finance position and transition to an outsourced accounting service, which has turned out to be a fabulous transition for us as well. So that worked out really well. I mentioned giving you an idea of who our members are these days. I'm sorry to those of you in the room, that's probably too small to see. But as you can see, we have almost as many Tier 2 Developing Nation professional members as non-Tier 2 Developing Nation professional members. So that's been an interesting change in dynamic. Students still make up a huge part of our membership. And then you can see the rest. It's interesting because this dashboard shows up on our in our database every week, and it's been fascinating to watch it change over the last few months. very quickly, just a few reminders about your membership. As I said, if you've been a member for at least 10 years continuously, you can't have lapsed. You have to be a continuous member for 10 years. Then you're probably eligible for distinguished membership. So come see me, we'll talk about it. A reminder is that if you want a 2, 3, or beyond number of years membership, we can make that happen for you. So if it's easier for you to pay once for the next 5 years, come see us and we will arrange that for you. Also, if you find yourself in a situation where it would be easier for you to pay for your dues once a month, 1/12 of what you pay, we can set that up for you as well. So we're very flexible about how we can do that. I talked about the waiver for for developing nations. And I think you all, anyone that's gotten an invoice so far this year knows that we did not charge you for a full year of dues in 2021-22 because the IRS is now making us, they're not making us, but the way we report to the IRS will be much easier if our dues are on a fixed July 1st to June 30th basis, which is our fiscal year. So anybody whose dues fall in the first half of this year is asked to pay a prorated amount through June, and then we'll bill you a full year in July. Anyone that's due to pay dues starting in January will ask you to pay for January through the following June if you are able to do that. Then once we're finally all on the right schedule, everybody's dues will renew on July 1st. So it'll be much easier for you to know when your dues are due as well. And probably the most important thing to share with you is these are the people that make it all happen. I very much appreciate Brian's kind words and Ina's kind words, but I couldn't do anything I do without the help of these fabulous people over here. So could I ask you all to stand, please? Yay, staff. As you can see, there's a TBD. It's very hard to find gender neutral pictures of pretend people on the internet, but I think I did okay with this one. Anyway, as you can see, we're going to figure out what to do with the membership position, but that won't be vacant for long because it's probably the one that you all interact with the most on a regular basis. So we want to make sure that gets filled. For anyone wondering, we of course went pretty much entirely virtual on May 17th of 2020 and haven't looked back since. We do still have a lease in Silver Spring, which we unfortunately pay for every month, which is very painful. But for the most part, we all work from home, and Pam's home is in Kansas and Garrett's home is in Connecticut. So when we start thinking about filling this new position or any new position at ASIS, we're not just looking in the DC metro area anymore. We're looking anywhere that the right talent is, which is such a silver lining from COVID that we sort of threw off the shackles of feeling like we had to only hire people in our backyard. So that's been fabulous. We didn't even meet Garrett and Pam until September, and we'd worked with them since January in person. And I think that gets to the end of, that's the end of my remarks. So I will turn it back over to you. Thank you very much.